Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894 for the second part of this probably 3 or 4 part series. If you haven't already, do go and watch literally the last video on our channel. It was about Erling Haaland, and we said at the end of that we were going to talk about alternatives, and this video is based on our first alternative to Erling Haaland, and that is the 21-year-old, I believe he's Serbian striker, Dusan Vlahovic, who's currently playing for Fiorentina. He is lighting up the world of scoring goals. If Erling Haaland was not in existence, I think Dusan Vlahovic would be the world's Erling Haaland right now. I've just read that he's just scored his 33rd goal in his calendar year, or in the calendar year, equaling an Italian record held by Cristiano Ronaldo. That is not easily done. And you have to bear in mind Dusan Vlahovic is playing for Fiorentina, who are very much a mid-table team in Italy. He's not playing for a Juve, he's not playing for an Inter Milan or an Napoli or any of these massive powerhouses that are constantly competing for the Serie A. He's playing for a mid-table team. He's effectively playing for the likes of, say, Aston Villa in the Premier League, but is absolutely banging the goals in. And like I said, Joe, if Haaland was not in existence, Vlahovic would be the world's Haaland. He is currently being chased by clubs like Arsenal. We've seen Newcastle throwing the name in there. Obviously, they would be keen to get someone like him who could maybe save them from relegation, but I think he's a bit above that. There's clubs all over the world really interested in this guy, and there's no surprise with the amount of goals he scores. But names like Barcelona and Real Madrid, we have not seen linked with Dusan Vlahovic, which would probably make our pathway to getting him easier. I would say, like, no disrespect to Arsenal or Newcastle or any of the clubs linked with him, we are probably the most attractive option if we're to go in for him, and I do believe we will get him if we went in for him. But it's just a matter of the City board making up their mind whether they want to pursue this Haaland dream or go for essentially probably an easier transfer in Vlahovic. What are your thoughts on this guy, and how do you think he may fit into City's team?
I think he's definitely the prime number 2 option if, Haaland isn't available. And I'm more than happy to have him in the team with the standard he's set in Serie A. Although I am a bit wary of the whole jump between Serie A and the Premier League being 2 completely different leagues, completely different pace. The Serie A being so much slower and a little bit easier. But, if he's equal to a record set by, one of the top 2 greatest players of all time, then surely he's pretty good, right? But I'd be happy for this one to happen personally. I don't think, like you said, I don't think there's anyone really challenging at this moment. Of course, if we were to go for Haaland first and then go for Vlahovic, there might be a bit more challenge because Haaland can only go to one club. So I think it could be worth maybe trying this option first because, if you get in there before the Haaland deal's done, then there's less competition. You're more likely to get him. And again, it's the deal that concerns me, the money that concerns me. Now, obviously, it's not my money and I don't really care. It's none of my concern. But come the summertime when, we expect City to do nothing in January, come the summertime, he'll have a year left on his contract. Now, they want £80 million or 80 million euros, I think. So I'm looking at that and going, I'm not keen on the idea of paying that amount for someone who we could get for free in 12 months. I'm not keen on that idea at all. Of course, it's not my decision, it's not my money, so you could quite easily just go and do that and just buy him. So it's interesting to see how that one would work, because I would imagine there'd be a bit of negotiating going on there with his contract, because he's not signing a new one. He's already said to Fiorentina he's not signing a new one and he's going to leave, whether it's for free or whether it's for money. So yeah, we are the most attractive option for him out of the current clubs linked. I think Newcastle is just there because they have a lot of money. I can't see him going there because they'll probably get relegated. And Arsenal is an interesting one to watch out for because depending on how their season goes, they could get Champions League football if they carry on. I know they're in 4th right now at the time of recording. So, but yeah, I mean, if you're him, you come to City. He's got no competition at striker if he comes to City. He's got none whatsoever.
Yeah, it's an interesting point that when you make with the Serie A and the Premier League being really different leagues, and I think a certain Romelu Lukaku has really highlighted that point so far this season. Signs from Inter Milan to Chelsea for 100 million or 95 million pounds, whatever it was, and has completely flopped when in the Serie A he was a complete beast. But then you have to kind of put that in the same perspective of Haaland and the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga isn't exactly an absolute beast of a league full of talent and quality. Like it's dominated by Bayern Munich for the most part, and Dortmund give them a bit of a challenge for a couple of months every year, but that's it. So it's an interesting. So basically, what I'm saying is you can't essentially just say Vlahovic is playing in an easy league or a different league, so we have to go for Haaland. I think Vlahovic, as Joe said, is a very, very feasible and viable option for City. I think if he wanted Arsenal, he would have made it very clear by now. I think Arsenal, obviously, they're having a bit of trouble with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, so they probably like the idea of replacing him, maybe if they're to get rid of Aubameyang, with Vlahovic. But the Arsenal interest in Vlahovic has been going on for quite a while. It was going on throughout the summer as well, and he's never once said, I'd love to go to Arsenal, blah, blah, blah. But he may see himself playing for someone like City. He knows not every top club in Europe who's chasing Haaland will get Haaland, so they're going to go for him next. And he could find himself playing for a team challenging for titles. Unfortunately, Arsenal won't be doing that anytime soon, regardless of who they sign this summer. But I think he's a very interesting option, Dusan Vlahovic. I think I'd be very happy with him as well. I think it's time, as City fans, you at home, if you're like this, to open your horizons past Mr. Erling Haaland, because I think if you watched our last video, you'll realise it's very much an uphill task, and a task that's probably a bit too difficult for us to see Cheeky taking part in this race. He doesn't tend to take part in races like this. He prefers a straightforward release clause with no competition, and you can get the deal done nice and easily, and that's not the way Haaland will go. Leave your thoughts down below on Vlahovic. If you've ever seen him play, his stats are absolutely fantastic. You can't argue with his stats. And I think even if he brought half of those goals to our City team, we'd go a long way to winning quite a bit of silverware. So leave your thoughts down below on him. Leave a like as well in the video if you would. It really helps us. Subscribe if you're new. We've just passed 800 subscribers. The next goal for us is 850. Do help us on that journey if you would. And we're going to record a video right after this now on another alternative for City and just give you some thoughts. We want to get some food for thought. Let us know what you think. Good night and God bless.